Hey Leo, it's Rebecca from Being Human Tarot, here with your September 2018 forecast. I've stuck with the same format that I did last month, so I'm doing a 3-card spread that, with the first card being what to focus on this month, the second card being what to set aside for the month, and the third card being just an additional consideration for the month. And I'm not doing the oracle draw this month just to save a little bit of time so I can get all the videos done, but I plan to bring that back in the future, not only with the animal spirit deck, but also with, I have a Kuan Yin oracle, and I also have the enchanted map oracle, and so there's some like good options that I'm excited to present to you in future videos. But for this month, the card that you drew to focus on, or the card that's your focus, is the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is kind of a tough card. It's about conflict, you know, like as all the fives are in the Minor Arcana. It's not the most pleasant kind of like phase in the Fool's journey, and so you're really working out things with others this month. Tension in relationships, and you know, whatever kinds of relationships that exist in your life. I guess it's obvious just by saying your relationships, they're redundant to say that exist in your life. Anyway, I digress. And remember, the sword suit is all about your mind. It's all about your thoughts, and kind of like willpower. And so it could be that it's not even something, it's a little bit more complicated, I want to say, what you're going through with people this month, where there could be some subtleties, some miscommunication. Mercury is finally out of retrograde, thank God, but this card is a bit like a Mercury retrograde almost, where you need to be careful about what you say, and you need to also listen to what other people say, and then try to process it and consider it in ways that maybe you wouldn't normally take it, because there are so many different ways to take something that someone says. Unfortunately, if you're someone who has anxiety, you understand that very well. So I'm not saying that you should just, work yourself up wondering if it could be a million different things that someone says to you, but what I am saying is that if someone says something to you and it sounds kind of harsh, maybe hold yourself back and just think about if it could be taken another way too. Also, a good way to kind of like ground yourself in conflict with other people is to kind of hold on in the moment and then ask, get a third party opinion about something, so that you can go back in a little bit more level with things. So it is going to be your focus for the month. So you will have to do a little bit more like mind work, if that makes sense. A little bit more communicating with people, and making sure that not only are you being fair, but are they being fair. So you want to protect yourself too from, anyone who's kind of trying to come at you in a way that's manipulative or otherwise, not in a caring way. For your set aside for the month, you drew the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is about I guess I'm really focusing on the numbers for this reading, but like all the tens in the Minor Arcana, it's the completion card. You're like pretty much done until you get to the court cards, and With the Ten of Wands, it's in, it's about almost finishing. And you can see it's just like this forest of like tree branches and like brambles. I don't actually know what a bramble is. I kind of think of it as a tree branch, so I could be wrong. Maybe it's something a little bit more blistery. Regardless, it feels maybe right now like there's no way out, but if you look closely, there's actually light kind of like in the center there. So the card is really urging you to see that the struggle, you know, maybe even this struggle, if this is kind of the majority of the month, is about to be finished. So as a set aside, I would say that set aside kind of like the majority of what's going on here, and not set aside all the work that you've done to get here. I mean, honor that and be proud of yourself for that, but don't get so focused on that that you can't see the progress you've made, and that you're about to be done. You're about to be so done with this. So set aside, I know it's hard because you're going through these miscommunications with people this month and some conflict, but that doesn't mean that you're not making progress in other areas, and that that you're kind of going to be, in particular because it's a wand suit, you know, maybe it's been a creative block that you've really had to push through. Or if you work in a creative field, maybe it's been so much work and you haven't had a break. But don't forget, it's coming up. In your additional consideration card, you drew the Hierophant reversed. Plot twist. I like the Hierophant reverse. The Hierophant upright is about conforming to sort of societal and social norms. It can often mean, wow, Freudian slip. You know, institutions of learning, so school, universities, can also mean churches, different kinds of places of worship, as well as like the institution of a marriage. But when you flip it, so there it is, you know, it's got this like, it's a raven with this key to all the things, but when you flip it, you're kind of turning all of those things on its head. You're being non-traditional. You're saying that, you know, if you're interested in learning more about something, maybe the way for you to do it isn't to go back to school. Sometimes it's not. You know, sometimes you go back to school and you study something because you feel like it's the right thing to do, and you take out a bunch of loans, and it didn't necessarily get you the information that you need, and it didn't necessarily advance your career. Or, you know, I've heard. So, you know, there are different ways of learning things. You can learn from other people. You can learn online. So, I mean, that's one example of the Hierophant specifically for learning. But, you know, if you're being pressured into maybe doing some sort of like society mandated things, like if you're getting pressure to get married, but you don't feel like that's a lifestyle that you really want, that's for you, or maybe it is for you, but the person you're with, it's not for you, that's okay. That's fine. So don't. And the thing about the Hierophant upright is that because they're these established societal things, and institutions, like, they're established for a reason because people want to maintain them, and it makes people feel comfortable to have those things and for other people to do the same things and to reinforce that, like, this is what we should be doing. Which, you know, sometimes that's fine, but sometimes it can hold people back. It can encourage homogeneity. And so whatever it is that I'm really thinking that it's a potential, like, kind of peer pressure thing. If it's like, you should go back to school, you should get married, you should have kids, you should go to church. If you've been having any of those kinds of things in your life lately, or from other people, or wherever else, know that it's okay to do your own thing, to be the Hierophant reversed, and find your way to you know, those truths, whatever, like, spiritual beliefs you have, whatever kinds of partnerships, romantic partnerships you want to have with other people, however you want to learn that might be differently, that's all fine. That's all fine for you. So just know that. You know, the other stuff is fine too, but with it showing up as an additional consideration reversed like this, it makes me think that there's some kind of, like, outside influence saying that, like, you're supposed to be a certain way, and no one's supposed to be a certain way. Everyone's supposed to be who they are. So, sorry if I got a little lectury on that one. The Hierophant is an interesting card. That's your reading for the month. If you found it valuable or got something out of it, or you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Also, if you hit the bell icon next to subscribe, you'll be automatically notified every time I upload the next batch of videos for each month, which I do before the first of every month, just to make sure that you get a little bit of time with them to watch them and see what you should expect for the month. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to pause this and pan down so that you can see all the cards together. That's why I keep looking down. And so now you can look down too. Okay. Bye, Leo. So now you can see your 5 of Swords, 10 of Wands, and Hierophant reversed. Thanks for tuning in.